What's up, everyone? Matt back for another real review, your second of the day, and it's going to be your second of the week with two more dropping tomorrow, but we'll talk about that later. I am glad to be talking about this because this is a film for a series. If I'm not going to lie, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of meh on the series as a whole because the finale was just so weak, and that is The Hunger Games. That's right. I'm here to talk to you about none other than The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Let's be honest. The Hunger Games, The Mockingjay, or The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 were not good films. They did not need to be split into two films. It is a single book. It's not like it's a giant book either. If it was the size of Aragon or Harry Potter or even Twilight, I could understand the part 1 and part 2 treatment. It's not. It's a book that's like that big. That's not that big at all. So because of that, a lot of people have a sour taste in their mouth still when it comes to this franchise because, let's be honest, they're kind of boring. They weren't good. Jennifer Lawrence was sleepwalking through them. It sucks when you have a promising first film, a superior sequel in Catching Fire, and then your second half of the series just goes out with a whimper. With that, however, we are now here for a prequel. That's right, a prequel. And that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, starring Rachel Zegler and Tom Blyth. I will be honest, I did not expect to actually enjoy the film as much as I did, and I didn't know what to expect from the film. If you want, you can actually go see my reaction from earlier this year to the first trailer. Maybe it was around this time last year. I just really didn't know what to expect because, again, I didn't care for the last film. And it's not like it's not like I wanted to hate them because I did like the first two films, no issue. I actually really dug the hell out of them. But this you didn't know what to expect. So I will say I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised when it came to this film because I probably liked it more than most. It's got one big issue, and that's it's really, really long. It is a 2.5-hour film, essentially. Feels like you could shave 15 to 30 minutes off of it and still have a good time. But my mother, who listened to all the books, has an actual connection with them. She was like, wow, that is a very true adaptation of this film, of this book, which I think is important when it comes to a film like this, especially when you've upset fans of this franchise by doing what you did to the last book. For those who don't know, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes tells the story of Coriolanus Snow. Why does Snow sound familiar? Because this is the younger version of the villain from the first set of books and movies, President Snow. It is an origin story, and you kind of see how he essentially helped save the Hunger Games and bring them into the prominence that we see in the first movies and read in the first books. He is the son of a general who died early in the war, and his family's barely making it by. They're on ends meet. He's one of the top people in the class of students who they kind of get to avoid going to the games because they're in this program to have a better future, and everything is kind of turned upside down because the top of the class is supposed to get selected for this prize, big grant that could help set them off to university, keep them in District 1, all this stuff. And Now, instead of just being given to the top student in the class, it's now going to be given to who the Dean, played by Dean Highbottom, played by none other than Peter Dinklage, and Dr. Volumnia Gaul, played by Viola Davis, and we'll get to her in a minute, who they decide is the best mentor to the children being reaped in this year's Hunger Games. And make no mistake, the Hunger Games that we see in this film is not like the Hunger Games we saw in the other series. This is the Hunger Games at its beginning. It's the 10th annual film, or 10th annual games. The ratings suck. People don't want to tune in to watch these kids die. And a young Coriolanus, or as he's referred to throughout the film, and I'll probably refer to him this way forth, Corio is idealistic. He sees a purpose to the games, but doesn't fully understand them. But he has these ideas that he thinks can help improve the ratings and make people care about the games more. And it catches the eyes of Gull, who, after the reaping, is kind of a mentor to him also. So it's very interesting to see how he is clearly being set up to be the future of the Hunger Games, and we know he eventually does become President Snow, so that makes sense. And just the challenges that Corio has to go to just survive and make the impression that he does. And this all ties into who his mentee is, who his tribute is, and that is Lucy Gray Baird, played by the lovely Rachel Zegler, whose song voice or singing voice is just almost second to none. She gets numerous opportunities to shine in this film, which I think is great. I know a lot of people hate her for some odd reason, but between West Side Story and this film, it is easy to see that she is a pure star in the making, in the old sense of the word Hollywood star, or term Hollywood star, excuse me. And Zegler is just fantastic in this film. Is this Lucy Gray Baird with the Southern twang and fast talking, and she is able to keep you engaged with the film, especially in those moments where it feels like it may be dragging because of the runtime. Tom Blyth does a fantastic job being just kind of a snake. And that's the Ballad of Songbirds Snakes. She's a songbird. He's the snake. And you're kind of just like, wow, this is just wow. But realistically, the true star of this film outside of Zegler, make no mistake, is Viola Davis as Dr. Gull. She is just enthralling. She's eating up, chewing the scenery. It felt like at times she was acting circles around everyone involved. I just had so much fun watching her on film. I couldn't stop just laughing at some of her jokes and being creeped out by her at the same time. I thought that was huge. And I had so much fun just with him or with her. Another character I did have fun with is Sejanus Plimp, played by Josh Andres Rivera, excuse me. And for those of you who don't know who that is, he was also in West Side Story with Zegler. He played Chino, who ultimately kills Tony. He does a fantastic job being the symbol of hope. He's comes from money, but is fighting against what the games stand for and trying to do everything he can to possibly even change things to where the game's no longer needed. It really is a well-acted film, and there's a lot to just chew and dive into there. And I get that's probably why it's 2.5 hours. But it did drag at points. The pacing is off. But it was very interesting to see how the games were then, where it's more simplistic and whatnot, to where they evolved to, and you can see the little ideals being revealed throughout the film, which was honestly, as someone who hasn't read the books and likes the first two movies at least, was really cool. But if I'm going to be giving this film a rating, giving it a 4 out of 5. That runtime, that is ultimately where this film falls short. And just, because in the last half hour, 45 minutes, I can't tell you how many times, just kept checking. I'm like, I know how long the movie is, because you look up how long it is before the screening. It's like, oh, we still got 20 more minutes at least without credits. Oh, okay. 50. Oh, just that last act essentially just drags a little bit too much. But if you want to see these amazing performances and just have fun, this is an actual movie to go see. This Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Go check that out. Also, if you haven't already, check out my review for Next Goal Wins. I'm excited for you guys to see that. It is the latest film from director Taika Waititi, and I am just so excited for you guys to see this. It's a good time for film. The Thanksgiving holiday break is always a really interesting and fun time for film, because we get films like this. We get some more indie films. And speaking of which, you're going to have 2 more reviews for me tomorrow. You'll have Napoleon, and you'll also have Wish, the latest Disney film. So be sure to check out those reviews tomorrow. Also, be sure to check out What Real Gaming, our sister channel over here, run by Taylor Cleek. That is where our Twitch videos on demand, or all of our Twitch streams and whatnot, go to live after we play them on Twitch, and also some clips and some fun bits. So if you don't follow us on Twitch already, that is twitch.tv/whatrealent, like spelled above right there. So be sure to go check those out. Just follow us on Twitter. X. That is WhatRealEnt, or you can follow me, WhatMovies_Matt. And yeah, got a lot coming for you review-wise over the next few days. Sorry I didn't get to reactions this week. I know we had Madam Web, Percy Jackson, and whatnot, but unfortunately, I was at work for those, and if I missed those first 2 hours of movies being out, I don't like to drop reactions. It's just personal opinion. Personal decision, I know. But yeah, so I will try to get some more reactions and content out to you guys soon, along with the promised home tour, which is being held off because this room right here still has to be decorated. So be sure to keep it out for those whenever that happens. But signing off, I am Matt. This was another Real Review, and we'll see you next time.